Hi, Shae Russell here, editor of the Daily Reckoning Australia. Now, I'm coming out to you today to talk about something I read in The Age about the Royal Banking Commission. Now, for those of you who follow my videos and what I write in the Daily Reckoning Australia, you probably know I've been quite ambivalent about some of these shocking revelations the Royal Banking Commission has unearthed. I think anybody who follows banks, not only in Australia but worldwide, isn't surprised to find out that the whole system is corrupt and, rotten to the core. So far we've found, some dodgy loan documents, fraudulent documents, and, that basically bad advice is being given. What I do like is that it is being brought to mainstream attention for the first time and giving people a chance to be critical of that. However, it was reading a particular article in The Age that reminded me of a quote with Jim Rickards, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, the article I read talked about how this self-confessed, highly educated couple were given financial advice from one of the bank's advisors that they could buy a bed and breakfast and then live in it, all using their superannuation. Now, anybody who uses who follows superannuation and property guidelines knows that you actually can't buy a property and live in it with your superannuation. So they were given pretty bad advice, and it's pretty much this advice from the bank has disrupted their ability to grow their wealth for the next couple of decades, and it's sort of thrown their financial plans into chaos. But it did remind me of a quote with Jim Rickards that he gave at this conference. Now, he pretty much opened the conference by telling everybody in the room that we have the ability to educate ourselves. And the example he pointed out was when somebody gets bad advice from a lawyer, they don't suddenly retrain and become a lawyer. They go get a second opinion from somewhere else. Same goes with a doctor. If you get bad advice or you're not happy with that advice, you don't enroll in med school. You just go get a second opinion or a third opinion. However, with being a financial advisor, if you get bad advice from a financial advisor, people don't go off and see another financial advisor. They tend to start teaching themselves what they need to know. And this is what separates a financial system from basically law school and medical school, is that we have the ability to educate ourselves. We have the ability to end our dependence on this entire financial system, which is basically set out to give mediocre advice at the highest possible cost. Whereas through self-education, you can end your reliance on this system and actually grow your own wealth independent of banks and the financial advisory system. So it's partly why I do work for the Daily Reckoning Australia, because I'm passionate in not telling people how to live their lives, but encouraging them to learn more so they can actually end their reliance on what is essentially a completely corrupt and rotten to the core financial system. Now, that's all for me today. I'll be back later in the week with more. As always, make sure you subscribe to the Daily Reckoning Australia. Thanks, and I'll see you later.